Hello and welcome to Big Orbit Games unboxing video of the Commander 2015 deck Seize Control. My name is Simon and I'll be doing the unboxing today. So Seize Control is the blue and red enemy colour pair deck from the new Commander 2015 cycle for Magic. And what I'm going to do, I'm just going to open it up and I'm just going to have a quick flick through the cards in there. I'm not going to spend too long on them, I'm just going to very brief look at it and then just give an overall opinion. So we have the oversized cards for Mizzix of the Is Magnus. Sorry, trying to get some of the glare off of there. So the oversized card, I'll explain more about him when we get to his actual card. The oversized is useful for denoting where your command zone is. So you get this box in here. In here, I'm not going to open it up, but you get a leaflet explaining how the deck works and each of the cards just explaining how to play it and ideas for how to improve and change it. So it's always good to customise your commander deck to your preference. So take this out of its plastic prison. I will go through the cards very quickly. There are some brand new cards which are new to Commander 2015, and then there's also a lot of reprints, so I'm going to skip through a lot of those. So first of all, you get tokens. These are double-sided. That one is Dragon and Dragon, which is a little redundant. Lightning Rager is the same. Elemental, though, flips over to a Drake. You also get an experience token. This is useful for the new experience counters that your commanders get, which activate a lot of their abilities, which is a new ability for Commander 2015. So plenty of tokens in there. And then we'll get on to the actual cards. So this deck, it's primarily blue, a bit of red, mono red, and quite a lot of multicoloured cards. It's got a relatively high curve, but you'll see why that's not such a problem soon. So I'm just going to sort of flick through here. There's a few artifacts, but only a couple in there. This is primarily instants and sorceries. This is a big spell deck. It really does focus on playing those spells to gain advantages. Oh, there's a bit of basic land at the top here as well. So there's a lot of the blue spells are control spells, and a lot of the red are damaging spells. And we'll see here with Mizzix what the aim of the deck is. So he's a Goblin Wizard. He's just a 2/2 at 4 mana. But whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell with converted mana cost greater than the number of experience counters you have, you get an experience counter. So for example, if you were to cast, let's find an instant or sorcery, Fact or Fiction, which costs 4 mana, if you've got anywhere up to 3 experience counters on him, that'll put an extra 1 on it, because it costs 4. But instant and sorcery spells you cast cost 1 less to cast for each experience counter you have. So you're making your spells cheaper. So again, going back to this example, if you had 3 counters on him, it only costs 1 blue now. So he's not going to gain any extra experience, but it only costs 1 blue to cast Fact or Fiction. So yes, this deck is focused primarily on getting your instants and sorceries into play. He's a bit weak, it's going to be difficult to keep him alive, but gee lord, that ability is fantastic, absolutely fantastic. Some of the new cards we have, so this deck only has sort of like 9-10ish, I think, creatures in here. There are not many, it's almost pure instants and sorceries. So if you like your spells, this is your deck. Arjun the Shifting Flame, he's a 5/5 Sphinx. It's a blue and red deck, how can we not have a Sphinx? Flying. And whenever you cast a spell, put the cards in your hand on the bottom of your library in any order, then draw that many cards. So it's an interesting one. It sort of cycles through your hand, so that's going to be an interesting one to play. But a lot of the creatures that are in here respond to you playing instants and sorceries, and they're just there to help you play more, or to gain more benefits. So we have like Mystic Confluence. This is one of the new one of the new cycles for Commander 2015. You choose 3, and you can choose the same mode more than once. Counter target spell unless its controller pays 3. Return target creature to its owner's hand, or draw a card. So you could use this to do 1 of each. You could draw 3 cards, you could bounce 3 creatures, you could counter 3 spells, or the same spell 3 times, which means your opponent would basically have to pay 9 mana to stop it being countered. So if they've got their big bomb spell coming out, that guarantees near enough that it's going to be stopped. You even have things like Aether Snatch, so 4 and double blue, but again, if you've got the experience on Mizzix, this is going to come down in price quickly. Gain control of target spell, and you may choose new targets for it. Very cool. Mizzix Mastery, so this is one of the Overload, which is a mechanic that was in Ravnica, fitting, because he is an Ismagnus, which is from the Izzet Guild from Ravnica. And it's a sorcery to exile target card that's an instant or sorcery from your graveyard, and for each card exiled this way, copy it, and you may cast the copy without paying its mana cost, but then you have to exile this as well. So yeah, things like Talrand, one of the creatures that you will want to get into play, which is whenever you cast an instant or sorcery, you get a 2/2 Black Drake. So you can create like a small army of drakes just by casting spells, so at least you've got some board presence. Charmbreaker Devils lets you get back a random card each turn. So yeah, this is just focusing on drawing, dealing damage, controlling the game. There's not too many counter spells for anyone who's worried about that sort of thing. There's only a few in there. This is primarily about bouncing creatures, controlling creatures, or just using red to outright kill them. And then onto the lands. So you get things like Spinnerock Knoll, lots of basics, because you always need basics. Command Tower, very useful. Add 1 mana of any colour your commander has. Then things like the usual Izzet. Reliquary Tower, very useful, no maximum hand size. Very useful to have that in play, especially this kind of deck, because there is a lot of draw in here. So we go, that's a very quick overview of this one. This is, I think, my personal favourite. It's just an instant and sorcery deck, lots of spell casting, lots of shenanigans. A third of the cards in total are instants and sorceries. Very low creature count, so be careful of that. Be mindful of that your opponent can just stomp all over you unless you get someone like Talrand into play. There's some room for growth in this deck, most definitely, because there's because there's a lot of very good instants and sorceries in red and blue throughout the history of Magic. So there's a lot you can do with this deck. So yeah. Like I said, this one's my personal favourite. I think it's really cool. So there we go. Very brief unboxing of Seize Control, which you really do in this deck. Like I said, there's a lot of spells which take control of opponent's creatures, so even if you have got a bit of a weak board state, at least you can get the one off. So remember, everything that's in here can be bought and sold on our website, bigorbitcards.co.uk. I hope you've enjoyed watching. Join me later. I'll be doing more videos, unboxings of Commander 2015. Remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any videos. I'll see you next time. Bye.